In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the things I wish I was taught about channeling when I was first getting into this concept and really playing with my intuition. In a recent video that I've done, I talked about consciousness. You want to check that out in the spiritual toolbox because it's going to break down a little bit more about what the idea of consciousness is and bring in some insights, more like a prerequisite to getting to this video, if you will. So definitely check that out so you have some baseline information about consciousness. So let's just dive right in. What is channeling? And how does it even work? Can anyone do it? The answer is yes, anyone can do it. How it works is simply moving your awareness around to the thing that you want to draw insight from. Now, it's a little bit more easier said than done. I'm gonna elaborate a little bit more upon that so you have something to grab hold of. I decided to do a video about channeling because I remember a couple years ago, one of my clients asked me specifically, how do you bring your awareness to other things, other objects, other dimensions, other places and spaces out there, right? This could be in a metaphysical sense, like an energy sense, or it could be even in the physical, like if you're trying to tune into someone's energy standing right next to you. This is a form of intuition. This is how I explained it to him. Basically, there's consciousness and then there's awareness. Let's unpack the difference between the two because they have a nuanced difference. Consciousness is going to be source. It's going to be source light. So like infinite intelligence. That's what consciousness is, right? You are infinite intelligence. You are source energy. You are light. As humans in this physical form, this is a light body. This body is a being of light. This can be scientifically measured. We know this now. It's been measured. It's not just some esoteric thing that's aspirational and nice to say, but we are actually, that's why our bodies are so intelligent. It's just, this whole thing is so amazing. Like this body, I can't even, sometimes I want to just go off on a side rant. I'm going to try to keep it focused. But just know that yes, we are light beings in our very actual bodies being light filled. Our consciousness, our brains have that gateway to consciousness. It's always able to tap into that supercomputer. To make it very, very clear, consciousness is source intelligence. Okay, that is in all sentient life. That light is intelligent life force energy, which you are, which our celestials are. That's even why, from like a conceptual sense, I'm starting to understand astrology even more and figure out like how can planets affect us energetically as they move around in orbit, because it has to do with this intelligent consciousness. But that's like a deep dive and unpacking for a different video. I don't want to get in the rabbit hole there. I'll just kind of tease that out. But that's kind of the connection that I draw is consciousness is interconnected, infinite source. You are, I am, we all are. Mother Earth Gaia is, all living sentient life is, such as plants even, our plant kingdom and our animal kingdom, blah, blah, blah. So you get the point. Now, awareness is slightly different in this context. Awareness is more like you bringing your attention to something. So I just wanted to draw on the distinction there. Awareness is not per se also the same thing as consciousness. Okay. So I want to explain how I like to look at consciousness a little bit deeper now so you can understand how you can channel and take this metaphor with you for that purpose. If you kind of just picture yourself from a pure like quantum physics realm, we're just going to switch gears and look at it only from that lens. And if you just looked at this as like the timeline, very simplified, okay? Timeline, what's past is in the dark, what's in the future is in the dark. But in that last video, as I talked about how consciousness is kind of like a flashlight. So looking at the present moment, there's always going to be light there in the present. That's why they say, and why I try to tell you all the time, remind you that all of your power is in the present moment. We always perpetually live in the present moment. Consciousness lives in the present moment, ever present, right? So Therefore, what has happened in the past or anything in the past is dark. In the future, it doesn't exist yet, it's in the dark. So this light consciousness, in the beginning, there was light, as the Bible tells. All existence is always prevalent and happening in the present moment. Therefore, it's illuminated. It has that light consciousness. It has that intelligent consciousness. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening, if that makes sense. For the sake of this how-to, you basically move your awareness around to the thing that you want to gain information from. You're moving your flashlight. That light needs to illuminate what would otherwise be in the dark. You're using your own projector light, your own awareness of the consciousness to gather information, to see into something. That's why the root part of the word intuition is intuit. I like to actually break that down to the very operative verbs. You move your awareness into it, into the thing. So, for example, if you're trying to channel your guides, you would want to first bring awareness to who and what they are. And by doing so, you're shining a light onto that thing that would otherwise exist in black space, nothingness. Okay, so you're tuning that flashlight, you're turning that in that direction, you're pointing it squarely with your intention leading you to that space. And then you get connection. How does that work? Because we are consciousness, keyword us. We are all interconnected in a supercomputer or like in a interconnected web, however you want to look at it, of consciousness. So I hope that explains, or hope that helps draw on how you channel. I'll just list off another example. Sometimes when I travel, I want to get a scope for what I should actually pack versus what my mind thinks I'm going to pack by drawing up all these unnecessary scenarios that never really play out. And oh, I'm going to need this, I'm going to need this. And I definitely don't, because I normally 90% of the time overpack. But when I'm getting ready for a trip, for travel, I've gotten to the practice of placing my awareness, projecting into the future, shining that light, feeling into the places and spaces and people and whatever, allowing my intuition to guide me and to inform me. I gather the information and then I get out. Do not, it is best practice, as soon as you're done channeling and getting the information, then get out. Like, do not occupy yourself in the future or similarly the past. If you're ever ruminating on, oh, should I have done this differently? Or so-and-so said this about me, like, how could they even say that? And then you just like over processing the past. You're placing your awareness onto the past, and that is drawing away from your power in the present moment, and that's not good. That's not an empowered state of being. Draw back your energy and call it back to present moment. That is where all your power needs to be for you to harness it to your highest advantage, right? Another example, if I am walking into a room and I'm just trying to get a feel for the room, to read a room, as they say, I will move my awareness to reading the energy of the room, right? I get out of my own experience, travel that awareness, that flashlight, kind of survey the room, read the energy in multiple spiritual senses or spiritual clairs, as they say. And then I gather that information, then call the energy back, bring it back to your body, and then that is that. Remember to bring it back. Otherwise, if you leave yourself out there, it's not good. You can inadvertently take on that energy, or you can inadvertently just get mixed up. It's not recommended that you leave that out there. Leave yourself unfocused on your own present moment in your own frame. So also, I will use this as a method of gathering information. I use it for meditation, when you are going through a guided meditation and they're like, focus on this one place on this planet. You focus your energy to that thing, and you can tap into energy on that location of Earth. So it's also really cool in that from a quantum view. So I hope that helps you understand from like a bird's eye view the dynamics of channeling and how basically everything's in the dark until you shine that light on the thing to gather the information, the insights. Channeling and intuition are very closely embedded. So for the sake of this conversation, I'm just going to say they're kind of the same. You're moving your own projection flashlight into the thing that you want to gather the information from. So go ahead and put this to practice. Give it a try. Do it in your next meditation, or if you're just trying to strengthen your intuition skills, maybe this is a missing piece that helps you take it further. I hope you use your own personal channel of projection, light projection, to your fullest advantage, because that's why we have it. Honestly, that's my viewpoint. Please let me know in the comments below if this worked for you, what your experience was as you started to play around with it, any aha moments. You know I love to know those things. Please keep me in the loop. Love you so much. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.